I just wanted to take a moment, because I know it's lunchtime, but really quickly remind folks that yesterday when we had the meeting, the tribal leaders meeting, we talked about a lot of policies and we talk a lot about regulations and laws that need to be changed, but they all really matter to our lives. And they matter to the way that we take care of our children, for example. So when we talked about ICWA yesterday, even though this is a national issue and we have a state, I want to congratulate the state of Alaska and the governor and the governor's office and the attorney general who said they're going to stand with us on the amicus briefs for ICWA. We know in Alaska how much it means for our children. We know that being able to make sure that our children are taken care of in a system that supports tribes and supports the state working collaboratively together is important. When we look at the things like land into trust and we look at the opioids crisis and we even look at judicial nominations, we talked about all those yesterday, we know that they're going to matter in our lives at home because these are the things that make a difference in the communities that we live in, to make them safer, to make them a better environment, to make sure that we can live and thrive in the communities of our choice. And nothing could be more true about the domestic violence and violence against women. NCAI has worked very strong with the Violence Against Women Task Force, has worked with the Alaska Native Resource Center. We worked to be able to make sure that Alaska Natives were included into the Violence Against Women legislation. And now when we celebrate the Domestic Violence Awareness Month this month, we want to be able to make sure that the NCAI Task Force and the Alaska Native Resource Center, we know that they're making a difference at home and to our communities. We know that they're making a difference to our women and to our women's lives. And I have to tell you how important this is to me, because if it wasn't for the Alaska Native Resource Center and the Aware Shelter in Juneau, that I wouldn't have been the executive director of NCAI. That without them to be able to help me deal with my own personal issues, like many women in Alaska, molested as a child, raped as a teenager, and violently abused as a young wife. But because of the strength of the women who gathered together in the violence against women, all women have a choice, and all women have ability to be what they want to be. And we don't have to walk around with the victim on our heads. And we don't have to be marked. But we know we can rise and support with each other. So when we, tomorrow and this week, when the Alaska Native Resource Center gets up, we want to celebrate with them. And we want to be able to celebrate what they have brought to our communities. The freedom that we have as women to be able to tell our own stories our own way in our own words when we choose and how we choose to. We want to be able to remember those things. We also want to be able to say that on Thursday at NCAI next week, we're all going to be wearing purple. And I hope you will wear purple with us. I hope you will join with us, whether we're in the national organization or we're here at home in Alaska, that we will remember those things. Because just like Indian child welfare, and just like the opioid crisis, and just like the need for Medicaid in our communities, the need for violence against women and the protections that we need in our place, and to be able to remember that every life matters. Tomorrow you'll see again the big kaspa that Amber Webb made with the pictures that of the art that she placed on them of people who are missing and murdered. Their lives should never be forgotten. Nobody's life should be forgotten. Every life matters, whether it's a child, whether it's a woman, whether it's a man. Every life matters. Thank you. Ganesh Chief.